semi-automatic rifle, and 2 semi-automatic handguns. He'd also taken 24 magazines in total. They were full, 2 for the shotgun, 10 for the semi-automatic rifle, and 6 magazines each for both pistols. The route Adam had taken to the school was exactly the same as he had done the day before. Moments before 9:35 a.m., he arrived but decided, for whatever reason, to leave the shotgun along with the 2 magazines in the car. Dressed in military-style gear, although it wasn't actually body armor, he placed his earplugs in and was ready to unleash a wave of violence that had been all too familiar in modern-day America. To start, he pulled back the charging handle on the AR-15 and fired a single round into the pavement to make sure the magazine was inserted properly. He swiftly moved on to the entrance, but the door was locked, and so shots were fired in a glass panel so he could enter. Some of those initial shots were heard as the school intercom had been rolling for morning announcements. Principal Dawn Hoshbron and the school psychologist Mary Sherlock were meeting with other faculty members in a staff room when they heard but didn't immediately recognize the gunshots. The pair, along with lead teacher Natalie Hammond, stepped into the hall to determine the source of the sound when out of nowhere they encountered none other than Adam Lanza. Witnesses say all 3 shouted, "Shooter, stay put," which thankfully would save multiple staff members' lives, and in turn would save pupils' lives. The school janitor, Rick Thorne, would yell, "Put the gun down." Instead, Adam opened fire, killing both Dawn and Mary. Natalie had been shot in the leg and sustained a further gunshot wound. She instantly dropped to the ground, pretended to play dead, and when everything went silent, she crawled to the conference room and pressed her body against the door to keep it closed. From here, Adam made his way towards the room where the faculty meeting was being held. More staff were inside, but they were hiding. According to those members of staff who hid, he did enter but couldn't see anyone, so he made his way out, and it was now open season on the classrooms. The closest classroom was that of classroom 12, but there had been a dark-coloured paper covering the door's glass pane from the inside. It had been left by accident after a recent lockdown drill. Uncertain over who or what was on the other side of the door may have been the reason he decided to skip. There's conflicting reports about Adam's next moves from here, but the facts are that he entered classroom 8 and 10. For sake of this video, we'll say that he went to classroom 8 first. Room 8 was a classroom of first graders taught by Lauren Rousseau and Rachel Davino. Rachel had been a substitute teacher only 1 week at that point, as she was working with a special needs child. Everyone in that classroom would fall victim, leaving only 1 child as a survivor. According to ballistics reports, the whole class had attempted to take refuge in the bathroom, but because it wasn't big enough to keep all 15 students in, along with the 2 teachers, the door had stayed slightly open. Sadly, Adam had noticed, walked up to the door, and fired continuously. Witnesses to this particular part of the shooting heard a young boy shout, "Help me, I don't want to be here," to which Adam responded, "Well, you're here." A 6-year-old girl would survive this part of the shooting. She would eventually be found by police in the classroom following the events that had unfolded. She had hid right in the corner of the bathroom, only surviving after playing dead. Adam would then make his way to room 10. Victoria Lee Soto had been teaching her first grade class, along with Anne-Marie Murphy, the special education teacher working with special needs students within Victoria's class. Upon hearing the commotion, Victoria and Anne hid some of the students in the bathroom, whilst others were told to hide under desks, but she forgot to lock the classroom door. They were panicked. In a moment's notice, she remembered she hadn't locked it, so she made her way to the door, but as she did, Adam walked in. From here, he walked to the back of the classroom, saw the children under the desks, and shot them. First grader Jesse Lewis shouted at his surviving classmates to run for safety, and several of them did. He went on to save multiple lives at just the age of 6 years old, a true hero. He'd been staring Adam in the face while shouting, but in the end, he was sadly fatally shot. After 6 minutes of terror and going into classrooms he'd already shot up in a confusion, Adam had killed 26 and 7-year-olds along with 6 teachers. As the police started to approach the school, he would pull out one of his handguns and shot himself dead. On the 25th of November 2013, the final report from the state attorney summarizing the investigation